What's good? What's good? What's good, my beautiful people? It's your boy Moose. Welcome to Moose Got Game 2-4, where we do sports gaming all day, every day, any day. Welcome to the channel. If you're new to the channel, man, you want to hit that subscribe button. You're going to want to like this video, and you're going to want to comment, and then you're going to want to share, and then you're also going to want to be a part of that notification ganger banger so you can get ready and know when the content is hitting for your face, when it's coming for you. And it's going to be in that little bell. You're going to want to hit that so you'll be notified when your boy uploads. Yo, it is Madden season. Today is Monday. I believe it is July 22nd. So for those of us who have EA access, you will have access to Madden for 10 hours in just 3 days. Yo, so if you don't know what EA Access is, I will give you a small little snippet of what EA Access is. If you have Microsoft or Xbox, we have already had access to this great thing that EA puts out. But for Sony, PlayStation consumers, you just now getting hip. You're just now getting access to it. So basically, it's a monthly subscription. It's $5 or $6. You have access to older EA games if you like older Maddens, older NBA Lives, which wouldn't want to know why you want to play NBA Live, but it's all good. But you have access to those games. But what's the great thing about EA Access is that you get trial time for newer EA games. So i.e. new FIFAs or newer Maddens or even newer Lives. You get trial time before the game is released. Also, the cherry on top, you do get 10% off of a digital copy if you purchase your game digitally, which I now do because of the robbery that is GameStop when you trade games in. I'm like, hey, if I'm gonna spend $70 on a game, I might as well just get it digitally and just keep it and keep rocking with it and play when I want to play it. But anyway, you get 10% off of your game, off of your final purchase of Madden. So that's what I did. So subscribe to EA Access. It's $5 a month. And guess what? You can cancel at any time. So after your trial run, do what I do. I just cancel my EA Access until another calendar year. Then I pick it back up again. And if you don't got $5, bruh, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say to you. You might want to go get a J.O. Bizzle. But anyway, man, as you see right in front of your face, today we have Madden 19, not Madden 20 yet. Like I said, early access to Madden 20 does come out in 3 days, but it is July 22nd, so this is Madden 19. But what I have for you today, I have this heat. I got this franchise heat for y'all. As y'all might have heard in my last videos, man, I am a big franchise guy. No matter if it's Madden, no matter if it's 2K, no matter if it's MLB The Show. I love being GM. I love being the coach. I love being the owner. I love being everything. I love being Robert Kraft, Bill Belichick, Tom Brady. I love being it all. I love being everything. And I love the reality. I love the hands-on approach of the franchise. But as we know, the Madden franchise has been suffering. I mean, it's been terrible. It hasn't been good. It hasn't been deep. It hasn't been good at all, really, honestly, for us franchise people. I know EA, and I know 2K, and I know other sports games. They're putting all their money in Ultimate Team. They're putting all their money in my team. I get it. I understand it. But for guys like me who love franchise, man, just give us a little more love and a little more focus on franchise, man. That's all we asking. So this year, EA finally did that. They're finally deepening their franchise mode. They're finally doing away with long shot. Excuse me, my Apple Watch is going off right now. Let me put that on silent mode. But they're finally doing away with long shot. I thought long shot was cool. I thought the Devin Wade story was cool, but I really thought last year it ran its course, and I'm happy they're moving on from that and kind of going into this more so of kind of like a my career mode, how it is on 2K. I think it's called franchise quarterback one or something like that. I forget the name, but yo, we are here to talk about franchise today. And what I have for you today, guys, is I'm going to go through a list of teams that I'm looking to start a franchise with, that I'm looking forward to building and bringing a Lombardi to their city. Now, the prerequisites for this franchise, yo, listen, I'm not trying to do, a team like the Patriots, teams like the Los Angeles Rams, the Saints, the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm not looking to do teams like that right now. I'm really focused on getting teams that really have had a struggle in the playoffs, right? They can't get over that hump, right? In the AFC, we all know teams like the Chiefs, the Chargers, especially the Texans, they cannot get over that hump that is Tom Brady, Bill Belichick, and the fellas in Foxborough. I mean, nobody goes to Foxborough in the playoffs in January and late December and goes in there and gets a dub. It's almost impossible. But there's so many young teams coming up that's hungry, that's ready to get this W. They have young quarterbacks, they have good coaches, they have great cities that are hungry for a Lombardi Trophy. And I want to be, at least in the Madden world, at least in the video game world, I want to be the man that brings them the championship. So let's go through this roster. So as you know, this is Madden 19, but through the beautiful love of the community, we do have opportunity to be able to load and upload rosters. So right here for your face, I have real 2019 rosters. These are going to be rookies included, trades, free agent pickups, and we're going to go through some teams that I'm interested in doing a franchise with. And after I go through this, man, I want y'all to smash that like button, but then also I want y'all to go in with me. I want y'all to give y'all input, comment. I want y'all to say, hey, Moose, I want you to do this team, and this is why. Or Moose, I think you should do this team. This is why. Ultimately, I want to have fun with it. I want to be able to have a very good roster, and I want to be able to go forward and have a very deep franchise. Maybe 3 or 4 years, we'll see what happens. But let's get into it, y'all. Let's get into it. So first and foremost, we are going to start with the Cleveland Browns. Yes, we are starting with the dog pound. Man, listen, the dog pound has been the puppy pound for a long time. I am 29 years old. I mean, the last time the Browns were relevant, I think it was in the early 90s, in the late 80s with Bernie Kosar and all those guys. And, I mean, good Lord, they've been irrelevant for quite some time. But the Browns are now relevant. Northeast Ohio is hungry for a great football team. Yes, the Cavaliers did win an NBA championship back in 2016 with Brian Brown, Kyrie, and the boys, but I'm telling you right now, Northeast Ohio is football country. Basketball is cool. That chip was cool, but if the Browns win a Super Bowl in Cleveland, if the Browns win a Super Bowl, it will be insane, man. So let's go over the team real quick. First, you're going to start off with Baker Mayfield. He is the straw that stirs this cup. They have a young and hungry team, and without Baker Mayfield, we know without a quarterback, you're not going to thrive in the NFL. This is not the early 2000s with the Baltimore Ravens when they had a phenomenal, like, gaudy defense, and then they had, a very average quarterback in Trent Dilfer, and they got by with a great defense and basically a game-managing quarterback who made no mistakes. But that's not how it's going to get done in today's NFL. So we're going to start with Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield's the captain. He's the guy. I really think the Browns would have maybe even snuck into the playoffs last year if they would have started Baker Mayfield from the onset. But that's last year. This is this year. Baker Mayfield starting off at the centerpiece. Young guy. He's coming off his rookie season. I mean, hey, that's where you start at with any franchise. You have a good young quarterback. You can build around him for years to come. And Baker Mayfield's a fun guy to watch and a fun guy to play with on Madden. The running back position is great. Kareem Hunt, the guy from Toledo, went to Kansas City. You know his situation. Came back home. Now he's back in Cleveland on a 1-year deal. I mean, Kareem Hunt's going to be suspended for the first 8 games, I believe. But Kareem Hunt is a dog. I mean, thank God, he didn't stay in Kansas City because him, Patty Mahomes, Sammy Watkins, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, man, that offense would have been even more lethal than it already is with Kareem Hunt in the backfield. So he's in Cleveland now. He is suspended for the first 8 games in my man franchise. He probably won't be suspended for the first 8 games. He's probably going to play, but that's neither here nor there. Then we have Nick Chubb. This guy is a beast. He was a dog at Georgia, him and Sony Michel. Loved him at Georgia, was waiting for him to get his opportunity, and once he got it in the NFL, man, he took off with it. Nick Chubb's a beast. Duke Johnson is very interesting. My guy from the U, Miami, they are my favorite college football team. Duke Johnson is an interesting case, an interesting situation with Kareem Hunt, with the Nick Chubb situation, him being a phenomenal running back. They have their 1-2 punch right here for the future. However, you got a third option there in Duke Johnson. Duke Johnson is not great at anything particularly. He's good at everything. He's good catching it out the backfield. He's a good running back. He's a good spell back. He's not an every down back, but you can put Duke Johnson anywhere. You can put him out in the slot. You can toss him the ball outside from the backfield. You can run the football with him. I mean, Duke Johnson is. I mean, he's really a really good solid running back, and he kind of reminds me a little bit of Kevin Falk, how he was for the Patriots back in the day. Just a really solid running back. Nothing too flashy, nothing too great, but he's just good all around. He has asked for a trade. He's demanded a trade after he's seen the Browns were shopping him around. We do know professional sports is a business, but I mean, Duke Johnson, I don't know what I'll do with him. Maybe y'all let me know. Maybe I'll trade him. Get some pieces back for him. Maybe get another safety. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But there's Duke Johnson. That's the backfield. But this receiving core is really what rings it in, man. The Browns may have the best receiving core in all of the NFL. First, you start off with Odell Beckham Jr. When the Browns got Odell Beckham Jr., I mean, it was pandemonium in the NFL, where it was crazy in Northeast Ohio. I mean, having a true number one receiver in Cleveland is going to open this offense up. I mean, Odell Beckham he's going to demand double teams, triple teams. I mean, it's going to open the offense up. Odell Beckham has great hands, great everything, and in the virtual world of Madden, you can't get any better. Then you got Jarvis Landry. He's in his natural position as the two receiver. He even commands double teams. But I mean, now he's gonna get single coverage. He's gonna have a monster year. He's tough. He has phenomenal hands. He's a really good blocker, so that does help in the ground game. In the wintertime, in that tough AFC North, where you got the Steelers and you got the Ravens and you got the Cincinnati, Kentucky Bengals, but we won't talk about them too much on this channel. Then you got Rashard Higgins, who I think is gonna have a breakout year in the slot. He's gonna be covered by third and fourth. I mean, nickel corners, maybe even a linebacker. I'm expecting Rashard Higgins to have a great year. Him and Baker have a great connection already. I'm excited for Rashard Higgins and Antonio Callaway. I mean, those four receivers right there, I mean, you really don't need much else in a virtual world of Madden or in real life, but in Madden, I mean, you're being set up to put up gaudy numbers. Then you got another guy from Miami, David Njoku, because Miami, we do put guys in the NFL. So young men out there, if you want to go in the NFL and you love football and you want to go to college, go to Miami. You know what we do. We produce the best. But David Njoku, the young tight end, beast. He's a beast, freaking nature. I loved him at Miami. Love that he's playing for the Cleveland Browns now. He's gonna get better and better and better and better. They picked up Demetrius Harris, the guy backup tight end from the Chiefs. Seen him play. He's really good. Then you got the offensive line. I mean, the Browns' offensive line, believe it or not, is one of the best offensive lines in the NFL. Every time I think about the Browns, I think about them being on the HBO special, I forget, Hard Knocks, and that offensive line coach just saying "hut" and his stomach just jiggling every time he said "hut." But man, the Browns, they're just very cohesive up front. I mean, legit, they have a Pro Bowl guard in Joe Bettino. Then they have a solid center in J.C. Treader. I am an offensive line guy. I played offensive line. I coached offensive line, so I will talk about the offensive line. Outside of that, they just have some end guys. We have Austin Corbett. He had a pretty solid year. And, I mean, that's really it. Nothing really to ride home. Maybe I'll trade that Duke Johnson and maybe get an offensive lineman back. Maybe get a left tackle to help protect Baker Mayfield's blind side. Defensively, Olivier Vernon, guy from the Giants, another guy from the U. Chris Smith had a pretty good year last year, rushing the passer. Then you got Myles Garrett, the freak of nature, and I think that's the best thing about the Cleveland Browns for the future. I mean, the Cleveland Browns have a perennial MVP, offensive MVP in Baker Mayfield. They also have an MVP/defensive MVP in Myles Garrett. If Myles Garrett remains on this trajectory of staying healthy and remaining on the field, Myles Garrett's going to be the NFL sack leader. He's going to be a beast in Madden. I mean, Myles Garrett and Baker Mayfield, two big end talents. They're very young. They're hungry. The Browns are set up for success in the future. And may I add also my man Chad Thomas from the U, who I will always add in. You got Sheldon Richardson, a guy you bring in from Minnesota, played for the New York Jets for a long time. He's become kind of an NFL journeyman somehow. But, hey, glad he's in Cleveland. He's a very good defensive tackle. Their defense line is going to be good. Ogunjobi's good. Came on the scene last year. Then you got Jannard Avery at the outside linebacker spot. Schobert from Wisconsin, who's a tackling machine. I mean, he really is a tackling machine. You got Christian Kirksey, solid linebacker, been to the Pro Bowl, I believe. He was hurt last year, but he's a really good linebacker. Denzel Ward, the young corner from Ohio State, had a phenomenal year last year. Greedy Williams is there now. They're their corners, so they're set up for the corner for the future there. Demarius Randall, solid free safety. Morgan Burnett, solid strong safety. And then you got Sheldrick Redwine back there from the U. I will always add that in. So that's the Browns, man. Browns, young talent, good cap space, talent everywhere, quarterback, defensive bookend. I mean, the Browns are set up for success in reality and in Madden. Moving on, we'll look at the Chargers. I love this guy, Phillip Rivers. I think it's a shame that he cannot get over the hump of Tom Brady, that he cannot beat the Pats at all. We got to give Phillip Rivers a ring. I would love the storyline. The storyline would get Phillip that ring, having the Los Angeles Chargers get that Super Bowl ring. They had Dan Fouts in the past. I mean, they've had some really good teams. LaDainian Tomlinson, Antonio Gates. They've had really good players in the past. They could not get over the hump, but that storyline would be great. They have Melvin Gordon, arguably a top 5 running back. They have Keenan Allen, who I think is vastly underrated at the wideout position. Madden, you guys have to do better with getting his ratings. I know people don't care about ratings, but if I was Keenan Allen, I'd be salty too. Keenan Allen puts up numbers. He's a beast. Not the fastest guy, but he breaks away from corners. He's a smart receiver. Love him. Mike Williams from Clemson. I think he's going to have a good year. Travis Benjamin from the U. He's in the slot. Then you got Hunter Henry, who is coming off of an ACL injury. He's going to be good. I think he's really good. I think he's really, really good. That's a young tight end they have there. Russell Okung up front. Guard positions kind of give or take. Mike Pouncey's solid. Then you got Schofield. Then you got Tevy. As you see, I mean, the offensive line there is something that needs to be worked on a little bit. I mean, outside of the center position, I mean, it's something to be worked on. You want to keep Phillip Rivers upright, so maybe you have to fix that offensive line a little bit. Then you got Joey Bosa. He's a dog. He's a beast. Wasn't that healthy last year, but when he was, he caused havoc. You got Melvin Ingram. They got 2 bookend defensive ends, so you know in Madden, it's all about getting to the quarterback. In real life, it is too, but in Madden, if you get to the quarterback, you can get dubs all day. Those 2 at the defensive end spots, pass rushing, you're good for years to come. Defensive tackle, Hey, Nwosu, good, fast cover linebacker. And they got Jatavius Brown from Akron, my alma mater, but from University of Akron. He's good. He's pretty solid. I think they're young. You can build around these two young men. Maybe you can even trade Brown maybe and get a piece. They got Perriman, and they got Thomas Davis Sr. from the Carolina Panthers. Perriman from the U, as I may add. They did get Thomas Davis Sr., who I think adds veteran leadership to this core, but I think it makes them a really formidable linebacking core in Los Angeles for the Los Angeles Chargers. Then you have the lockdown corner Casey Hayward, Desmond King, who now bumps up because from the exit of Verrett, I believe he went to the San Francisco 49ers. You have Desmond King now, who is one of the better nickel corners and one of the better special teams players in the NFL last year. Now gets bumped up to the second corner. How does he do now? That's interesting. That's a storyline. Then you have Adderley, pretty solid here or there. But then you have Derwin James. Hey, listen, I hate Florida State, but I appreciate great football. Derwin James is a beast at the strong safety spot. He is a ball hawk. He's a tackling machine. The Los Angeles Chargers have a strong safety for years to come. And look who's behind them, Rayshawn Jenkins. I hate that a Miami guy is behind a Florida State guy, but as you see, we are in the league. We are out there. And that is the San Diego Chargers. Next, we want to look at the Indianapolis Colts as a possible team. Andrew Luck, as we all know, no long introductions needed. They finally got an offensive line in Indianapolis to protect Andrew Luck. He's finally getting out of bounds. He'll stay healthy. Andrew Luck, beast. Now, the Colts situation at running back. Free agency this past season, or even free agency, I really would have thought they would have got Le'Veon Bell. I was just salivating at the thought of Andrew Luck, Le'Veon Bell, T.Y. Hilton, Eric Ebron, who came out of nowhere, Jack Doyle, who was hurt, but Jack Doyle is a solid tight end. I mean, that offense would have been crazy with Frank Reich there. They're not really a power team, but they've chosen to go by the running back by committee mentality, which is okay. Spencer Ware, Marlon Mack, solid. Naheem Hines is pretty solid. I mean, the rest of them don't really matter. They're rookies, but I mean, we'll see what happens. If I pick the Colts, I don't know if I want to do maybe a running back by committee. Maybe you develop Marlon Mack and see what he can do, but we'll see what happens. Then you got T.Y. Hilton, beast. I mean, I love T.Y. Hilton. I'm a T.Y. Hilton fan. I think he's a great football player. I think he's a great receiver. You got a guy for years to come. Devin Funchess comes over from the Panthers. He gives Andrew Luck and the Colts really a go up and get it kind of guy. They need a guy like that. T.Y. Hilton's only 5'9". He's going to stretch the field. He's going to be in the slide. He's going to be everywhere. But Devin Funchess is going to be a beast on the outside. You just throw it up to him. He's 6'4", almost 230 pounds. He's going to go get the football coming over from Carolina. You got the rookie Paris Campbell. No, that's not his picture. The guy that did the rosters did a great job. He just put up the EA picture. Paris Campbell does not look like that. That guy looks like somebody's uncle who was just macking on all the barbecue. But anyways, you got Deion Kane from Clemson, Chester Rogers. I mean, it's a pretty solid receiving core with T.Y. Hilton and Devin Funchess leading the way. I think with Paris Campbell in the mix, they can do some damage. Like I said, Jack Doyle, Eric Ebron come out of nowhere getting a Pro Bowl last year in Frank Reich's system. He's not going to be asked to block like that. Thank God Eric Ebron's not really a good blocker. But Eric Ebron's a really good receiving tight end. Moving on to this offensive line. The Colts went from the worst offensive line to probably one of the best offensive lines. Anthony Costanzo from BC is a really good tackle. Then Quentin Nelson. Listen, you need right now, you can pause my video, right? Pause this video right now. But you need to go on YouTube and you need to go look up Quentin Nelson highlights. I don't care if you don't like the offensive line, if you think the offensive line is boring, that's okay. But his highlights, you need to go watch Quentin Nelson's highlights at Notre Dame and for the Colts his past year as a rookie. He was tossing people around. And he's the reason why Andrew Luck was be able to stay upright, protecting that pocket. He's a tough-nosed guy. You got Ryan Kelly from Bama, Glasskowski at right guard, Braden Smith, the solid players. But I mean, that left side is really solid with Quentin Nelson leading the way there. He's going to be an all-pro. Jabal Shear is solid. They got a rookie out of TCU. Can't say his name. Sorry, my guy. Benogu, I'm not even going to try to say it, but looks like a solid pass rusher. Then you got Justin Houston, the veteran coming over from Kansas City. I think he's going to add a lot of depth. And, hey, he still can pass rush if he stays healthy. D tackle position, maybe nothing that's, too blown out the water, but, we can work with it. We'll see what happens. Maybe we can make some trades or whatever. Darius Leonard, defensive rookie of the year, I believe, last year. Tackling machine, beast. Out of HBCU, I will always elevate the historically black colleges, man. And, dude, Darius Leonard's a beast. Happy they got him. Anthony Walker, he's solid. I remember him at Northwestern. Tackler, very good tackler. Matthew Adams, a rookie. We'll see what he'll do. So the linebacking core does need a little bit of help outside of Leonard. Maybe we can develop Anthony Walker. We'll see what happens there. Colts really are struggling that corner. I mean, honestly, outside of Quincy Wilson, from Florida. I mean, there's really nobody there. I mean, the cupboard's kind of bare. I will say this: they have a lot of young corners. Outside of Desir, I remember him playing for the Browns. He's the number one corner. Do you want to wait that long? Because honestly, what you can do is you can beef up your front seven maybe. Maybe you beef up your front seven and just leave average corners out there. Play a lot of zone coverage and never play man. Always having safety help and just trusting your front seven to get there. But the Colts don't have the front seven for that. I mean, they have some solid edge rushers and a great linebacker. I mean, what do you do with that? Who knows? Malik Hooker, playmaker, he has to stay healthy. Malik Hooker has to stay healthy. That's my thing with Malik Hooker. If he stays healthy, playmaker, a ball hawk, he's solid. Like him. Clayton Gathers, look, honestly, I like Matthias Farley. I think you can do a lot of things with him. Clayton Gathers, he's a really good tackler. Once again, I'm not in love with their secondary. That's something maybe through the draft or through trades, maybe we can beef up. Hey, man, we'll look in it. Then you got Adam Vinatieri. You're going to talk about Adam Vinatieri, the kicker, but, hey, he's still there, still kicking in the NFL. Then we're going to look at the Cowboys. Yes, I said the Dallas Cowboys. They got Travis Frederick back. He's going to help out a lot back from his illness. Ezekiel Elliott, we all know him. They have a lot of interesting storylines. Are you going to pay Dak Prescott? Do you pay him? because that's going to be interesting. He's going to want to get paid. Carson Wentz got paid. Kirk Cousins got paid. Matthew Stafford got paid. All these average guys got paid outside of Carson Wentz. A lot of average quarterbacks are getting paid. And Dak Prescott, whether you like him or not, whether you call him a system quarterback or whatever you want to call him, Dak Prescott wins. I mean, outside of a miracle catch and throw by Aaron Rodgers in that playoff game, I mean, Dak Prescott would have won that playoff game and they would have beat the Green Bay Packers. So, I mean, that storyline is interesting. You got Ezekiel Elliott. You got to pay him too. You got Mike Weber from Ohio State, 2 Buckeyes there. I like Mike Weber. I like that kind of 1-2 punch there. Amari Cooper coming over from Oakland. I mean, that ship with the Cowboys would have sank without Amari Cooper. I think Amari Cooper is the number 1 receiver in the NFL. It's just a terrible situation in Oakland/Las Vegas. You got Randall Cobb there coming over from Green Bay. He's an upgraded version to me in my mind of Tavon Austin. He's everything that Tavon Austin wants to be. Randall Cobb is good in the slot. He's good on the outside. He can be in the backfield and run kind of little gadget plays like Randall Cobb. Allen Hurns from the U. I think Michael Gallup is going to get a ton of single coverage this year. Dak Prescott has to hit him. I mean, hey, this roster on the receiving core, not great, but really good, really solid, really fun to play with. Then you got Jason Witten, who's coming out of retirement from the booth. Thank God he was terrible in Monday Night Football. He was terrible. He needs to be on the football field. He was boring. Jason Witten helping that room, helping this locker room with his veteran leadership. Jason Witten's probably going to play like 30 snaps a game. He's going to be an extra coach. He's going to be a leader. He's a great blocker. He's going to help the running game out. Offensive line, we know the offensive line is great. I mean, Tyron Smith. I mean, they got a young rookie, Connor McGovern. I seen him play. He's very good. But they also had Connor Williams last year out of Texas. He was solid. Travis Frederick, beast, one of the best centers in the NFL. Glad to see him back. Zach Martin, one of the better guards. Leo Collins is good. He's solid. DeMarcus Lawrence just paid one of the best edge rushers in all of football. They got Joe Jackson from the U. Robert Quinn, solid. Taco Charlton, solid. Tyrone Crawford, solid. Christian Covington, solid. Sean Lee getting moved from the middle linebacker spot was really, I think it's going to be really good for him. His leadership is going to be there. He took a pay cut so that the Cowboys can sign more people because they know they have to pay Dak and Zeke. So Sean Lee, veteran leadership. Can he stay healthy? We'll see. Jalen Smith, I mean, what more can I say about Jalen Smith? He's a beast at the middle linebacker spot. You have a linebacker solidified for years to come. Then you got Van Der Esch. So right there you have Amari Cooper, Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott, Van Der Esch, Jalen Smith. That's 5 young players that you can continue to build around for the Cowboys. Byron Jones, solid corner. That's a 6 young player. Jordan Lewis, Anthony Brown, Owuzie. I mean, you have a lot of young pieces at the corner spot who I do like. I like the Cowboys corners a lot. I'm a little so-so on Xavier Woods, but they did get Ioka. I probably would start George Ioka probably. That's just my personal opinion. I probably would look to move Xavier Woods. That's just my personal opinion. And I definitely would try to move Jeff Heath. Don't know what I would get back for him. Maybe you get like a second or third. Third or fourth round pick maybe. I think Jeff Heath is terrible. Maybe you can move George Ioka to the strong safety spot and keep Xavier Woods that free safety spot and try to move Jeff Heath, but we'll see what happens. That's the Cowboys team. Moving along. Then we're going to look at doing the Jets. Yes, I said the Jets. The Jets have at least 5 young players who you can build around. First, you're going to start with Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold. I think he's going to be a really good quarterback. I never thought he was better than Baker Mayfield. I honestly, in my honest opinion, I think there is not a large gap between him and Baker, but I think there's a significant talent gap and mental leader gap when it comes to Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield. But nonetheless, Sam Darnold is a great quarterback you can build around in Madden. I think you can build around him. You can develop him and hope he gets better. I think he'll get better in Madden. I'll definitely be looking to get him better, but the Jets definitely present a fabric that I'm looking for when it comes to a franchise build, and that's Sam Darnold. Then you got Le'Veon Bell. Le'Veon Bell is one of the best running backs. He was probably the best running back before he took a break last year because Pittsburgh didn't want to pay him, and they just were having a grudge match. Le'Veon Bell can do everything. He can receive. He can run routes. He can run the ball. He's patient. He's unique at running the football. I mean, Le'Veon Bell. Bilal Powell back up. I mean, the Jets are solid at the running back spot. Wide receiver spot is where I'm worried at. Robbie Anderson's okay. Fast receiver, can take the top off. He's cool. Anunwa is good. I like Anunwa. I don't love him, but I like him a lot. Jamison Crowder's, he's solid. Nobody special at the receiver spot in New York. Chris Herndon, beast from Miami, another Miami guy. Once again, you see a reoccurring theme here in the NFL. Miami guys, we dog in the NFL. But anyways, Chris Herndon, he is suspended, I think, the first 4 games. He wouldn't be suspended in my franchise, but he is suspended the first 4 games in real life because of I think it's PEDs, or I think it may be drunk driving. Something he did. He suspended the first 4 games. Comment in the section below. Let me know what Chris Herndon did. But anyways, moving on. The offensive line is okay. I mean, Kelvin Beachum, smart guy, intelligent guy. He's a solid left tackle. He's okay. Kaleki Osemele, he's okay. Another okay guy from Oakland. Eh, their offensive line needs work. Their offensive line needs a lot of work. Maybe you bring in a veteran. Maybe you trade. Maybe trade a piece. Their defense is solid. Leonard Williams, solid defensive lineman. Henry Anderson, solid pass rusher. Quentin Williams, I think he was the 4th-round pick for the New York Jets this past draft. Beast out of Alabama. Think he's going to have a great career in New York. Like him a lot. Steve McClendon, outside linebacker spot. C.J. Mosley, they got him from the Baltimore Ravens. He's a beast inside. He's going to continue to dog. He's going to continue to do his thing, solidifying that defense even more. Avery Williamson, he's solid like him. Brandon Copeland, yeah, he's cool. The cornerback spot, Tremaine Johnson's pretty cool. Don't think he's number 1, but yeah, Darryl Robertson. They got some pieces with Darryl Roberts. Brian Poole, guy from Florida. They're cool, but nobody's there to write home about. What do you do with secondary position? Storyline. I like storylines. What do you do with those corners? Marcus May, once again, what do you do? What do you do? He's solid. Do you keep him? You let him develop? He's only been in the league, 2 years this year. What are you gonna do with him? He's young. I like him. He's solid. But the corner position is something I'm kind of worried about with them. Definitely the offensive line needs to be fixed first and foremost. Jamal Adams, enough said. Phenomenal, plays in the box, tackling machine. Jamal Adams, beast. You don't have to worry about a strong safety for position for years. That's the Jets. And I believe I have one more team who I was interested in doing a franchise with. No, 2 more teams. One was definitely the Skins. With Alex Smith going down with that horrific injury. Don't know if he'll ever play again. I was an Alex Smith fan. Thought he was solid. Thought he was a great leader. Got Dwayne Haskins. Dwayne Haskins is starting off the rip for me. If I do the Washington Redskins, he's starting off the rip, off the muscle, off the tip. Dwayne Haskins will be the number 1 starting quarterback in the nation's capital. Case Keenum, he's Case Keenum. And I don't know, man. Colt McCoy just continues to have a job. Look, guys, if you're a quarterback and you're not the star, listen, there's nothing wrong with being the backup quarterback. Colt McCoy's making millions off backing up in Washington. He's been in the league 8 years. He's a Heisman Trophy winner, I believe, at Texas. He's a legendary player at Texas. Ends up being a backup in Washington. Colt McCoy got drafted by the Browns. Ends up being a backup guy, which we all know he would be. He's making millions of dollars. Kids, nothing wrong with being a backup quarterback. If you just keep trying, that's all you can be. Nothing wrong with that. Moving on, Adrian Peterson. I think this is one of the best things about their roster is their running back room. You got Adrian Peterson on a 1-year deal, very cheap deal. You got Chris Thompson who can do it all back. Darius Geis, who's going to come back from an ACL injury. I like him a lot. I think he's going to be a really good running back. Hopefully he can rebound. Darius Geis and Bryce Love. Those 2 right there, you can build around them. As Adrian Peterson ages and gets up there in age, maybe you let him go after the first franchise. Maybe you let him go. I probably would let him go and just build around Geis and Bryce Love and let those 2 run. You got Thunder and you got Lightning. The Redskins really got lucky with Bryce Love falling that low. I know he had a rough campaign the senior year. He got injured. His junior year, he was a Heisman contender. Bryce Love and Geis are going to be really great in that backfield. Their receiving core is nothing to write home about. Paul Richardson is not a number 1 receiver. He's a 2 receiver. Doxson, he's a 2 receiver. They have a lot of 2 receivers, honestly, in Washington. They have a lot of 2 receivers. Jordan Reed, very good tight end. One of the top 10 tight ends, maybe top 6 tight ends in the NFL when he stays healthy. Vernon Davis, we all know what Vernon Davis does. Great blocker, great teammate. Great player in Madden. Fun playing Madden. Trent Williams. Here we go. Listen, Trent Williams wants out of Washington. So my thing is this. If I'm another team, like the Jets, right? The Jets, who need another offensive lineman. Maybe you move Beecham over to the right tackle spot and you plug Trent Williams to the left tackle spot, and you got two tackles, right? You got a solid one on the right side and you got a great left tackle. I love Trent Williams. He's nasty. He's an athlete. He loves playing offensive line. So in Washington, of course, you want to keep him there. But do you move Trent Williams, right? That's interesting. Do you try to build up or just go get a free agent left tackle, or try to maybe trade and move a piece to get another left tackle so you can get some assets back for Trent Williams? Who knows? Eric Flowers, listen, Miami, we don't own this guy. Eric Flowers sucks. He's terrible. We definitely want to move him and trade him. Maybe we move Wes Martin up and have him play left guard because Eric Flowers is terrible. Moving on. Solid center. Brandon Schrift, Pro Bowler. Loved him at Iowa. Loved him in Washington. He's a beast. Morgan Moses, I like him. Don't love him, but I like him. He's very solid at the right tackle spot. Ioannidis, he's solid. He's solid. He's nothing to write home about, but he's solid. Jonathan Allen, beast. Dog from Bama. Deron Payne, the rookie, he's going to be a beast. Kerrigan, we know, sack extraordinaire. He's going to get after the quarterback. Reuben Foster, now it's interesting. Reuben Foster is going to probably, I think, get suspended. I think he did get suspended. He's injured. No, I think he got injured. That's what happened. He got injured. Notice the medical thing right beside his name. Come on, Moose. Anyways, he's injured. He's out for the year. So they got Mason Foster, who's solid, and John Bostic, who played for the Steelers last year, who's god-awful. The Patriots carved that boy up. He's terrible. Then you got Montez Sweat, the rookie out of Mississippi State, who's going to be after his first year. He was good last year. I liked him last year. I liked him. I liked Montez Sweat. I liked him at Mississippi State. I think he's going to be really good. I like Montez Sweat. You can build around him. Josh Norman, listen. Josh Norman was the product of a phenomenal front seven in Carolina, let's be honest. They signed him to this big contract. I think Josh Norman's a good corner. I don't think he's elite. I think he's a good corner. Is he a number one corner in Washington? Yes, because the cupboard's bare. You got Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie. You got him down there at the slot. Quentin Dunbar is solid. Josh Norman. Do you want that? He's 30 years old. He's going to keep aging. In my opinion, get him the heck out of Washington. I don't want him in Washington. Trade him somewhere and get an asset for him. See what I mean? Monte Nicholson. Then you got Landon Collins back there at strong safety. He's a beast. We know what he does. Storyline to storyline in Washington. Washington's very interesting. And the very last team that I'm looking at is the Houston Texans. 99 club member DeAndre Hopkins catches everything. Enough said. J.J. Watt, perennial defensive player of the year, beast. Jadeveon Clowney has an interesting contract situation. He did get franchise tagged in real life. So what do you do with Clowney? Great pass rusher. What do you do with him? McKinney. Jonathan Joseph still balling 12 years in the league. Deshaun Watson's a gamer. Love Deshaun Watson. Loved and hated him at Clemson as a Miami fan. I think he's a gamer. I think he's going to be a really good quarterback. What do you do with Bill O'Brien? Do you move on from him? What do you do? I love Deshaun Watson. Will Fuller, take the top off, fast receiver. I like him. Got Deshaun Gibson from their in-divisional rival from Jacksonville. Like him at strong safety. Lamar Miller from the U. Like him at running back. Justin Reed filling the spot that Tyrann Mathieu left behind. Tyrann Mathieu has left and he went to Kansas City. So Justin Reed, I like him a lot. The brother of Eric Reed. Shout out to Eric Reed. Terrible what happened to him and how they made him a sacrificial lamb along with my brother Cap, but that's neither here nor there. But Justin Reed, like him a lot. Think he's going to be a really good player. Winnie Merciless, like him a lot. The thing with the Texans is, listen, the Texans have wasted a lot of talent for a lot of years. The Texans have had talent for quite some time, and the Texans cannot get over the Patriot hump. And that is a common reoccurring theme in the AFC. However, the Texans cannot get out of their own way, right? The Jags have Nick Foles. Do they have their quarterback now? Do the Jags get better in that division? The Colts are going to get better. Frank Reich is a phenomenal coach. He was the brain trust behind that Philadelphia Eagles offense. Please believe me. The Colts are coming. So what do you do with the Texans? It's storylines everywhere with them. They have a number one receiver. They don't have a number one tight end. They need one. They do have some rookies there, but they don't have a number one tight end. Their offensive line needs work. Their offensive line needs a lot of work. Their defense is good. It's solid. It's nothing to write home about. They have some great pieces, but it's nothing to write home about once again. So what do you do? What do you do with the Texans? What do you do with them? How do you move these certain pieces? And that's what I'm looking for in all these teams. There is a storyline. They have some young pieces, and if you notice, they're all young quarterbacks, except for the Chargers. They have my man Phillip Rivers, but they all have young quarterbacks. They have some teams have contract situations. Some teams have great players they have to pay. Who do you pay? Do you let somebody go? What do you do? And that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a great storyline. I'm looking for teams who have never won a Lombardi, or teams who have been close to a Lombardi, or teams like the Cowboys who haven't seen a Lombardi since Biggie was rapping and he was alive, riding with Puffy in New York, riding talking about Bad Boy. So listen, those are my teams that I'm going to use. Let me know in the comment section who you think I should use. Let me know. Once again, subscribe, like, share. Hit the notification bell to be notified when this heat wave hits your face so you can know to click and watch the vid. It's your boy Moose. Salute to you. Be blessed and highly favored.